we've had a good week's work. Obviously, as we talk on Thursday afternoon, we'll assess the group in the morning. We expect the group to be in a good enough place fitness-wise to attack the weekend. Only one noticeable absentee in Oz, but we know his situation. The rest of the group seem in a good place, and we almost welcome back into the squad the likes of Sam Nombe and Alex Hartridge as well.
Obviously, Kieran Phillips has had his first few sessions with his new side. How's he gelled into the squad?
He's looked good. Good personality, good character. Looks a good player as well. We've seen why we've brought him to the club in a couple of days. He's had training with ourselves. He'll get the fine tuning tomorrow in relation to the match prep, and then it's all go for the weekend. And if selected, we're looking forward to seeing how he performs. But certainly pleased to get him in the group and in within the sort of remits of the squad, I suppose, moving towards a fixture as opposed to coming a day before the fixture or not getting any training time. He's been able to introduce himself to his teammates and get an idea how we play as much as we've been getting an idea how he'll play.
You mentioned Ozanzala there. I believe, he has to have an operation. Have you got a clearer picture of the diagnosis and how long he may be out for now?
Well, the operation's a week on Saturday, so that operation's still a little bit of time away, I'm afraid. We'll only know fully once he's out of that surgery and the surgeon gives his report. There's a primary tear which we feel will be a straightforward one to take out of his knee in terms of the meniscus and his cartilage. And that could be a 4 to 6 week job. But the secondary tear is a little bit more complicated. Will require some repair work. And how detailed that repair work will determine how long he's out for off the back of that. But we still hope he'll play a part this season. We still expect him to play a part this season. And it's certainly something we're looking forward to when that does happen. But first things first, let's just let him get through that surgery and see how he reports back off the back of that. And only when the surgeon goes into the knee will we fully know the extent of the time frame.
On to the opponents then, Swindon. They had their issues in the summer, but they seem to have stabilised the club. Ben Garner's done a great job there. And, in really good form, certainly in a good position in the table.
Yes. Probably a club in disarray, let's be honest. When was it? In the off-season, going into pre-season. And somehow, almost by working a miracle, they've got a fantastic group of players together. I think I'm right in saying new ownership and a new direction at the club. And all of a sudden, there's a feel-good factor back in the town and in the football club. It's great to see because you don't want to see any clubs struggling like the way they did. But they're now in competition for the places we want to get into in terms of the playoff places and towards the top end of the league table. One of the closer grounds we travel to. I'm sure we'll travel well supported. I'm sure they'll be well supported at home as well. So it's got that big game feel about it, and certainly one the players want to play in and want to perform well in.
And obviously they had that game against Crawley on Tuesday. I'm not sure if you saw that or not, but where do you assess their key strengths? Yeah,
I watched that game. And it was an impressive performance by both teams. I've watched them live a couple of times this season. Look, they moved the ball fantastically well. Really, really fluid in terms of their possession-based style. Balls on the floor, often a lot of good movers with the ball. A lot of good footballers. So hopefully it'll be a good game in relation to the football played by both teams. We can't let them dictate their style throughout the game. We've got to somehow pack a punch ourselves and get after them and be aggressive at certain moments in the game to get a front foot on the front foot and to implement our own physical attributes on the game. But they've got some good players. You mentioned how the disarray has almost turned into a strong squad. And sometimes when you're at your lowest ebb, that's a good place to start because you can only move good players into the football club, and they've certainly recruited really well. So we're looking forward to seeing what they produce and hopefully being able to match it, if not more.
There's going to be well over 1,200 City fans there, and I think that number will be well replicated in the home stands as well. I think probably about 10,000. So it's going to be a big atmosphere for the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And we said privately today that you want to play in front of big crowds. You want to play in a good stadium. You want to play on a good pitch. You want to play in what feels like a big game of football, and it certainly has got that feel going towards the weekend. Our away fans travel so well, and it seems to be going in numbers this weekend. I'm sure they'll be well supported as well. So you mentioned there 10,000 people. That's great for a League Two fixture, and which is why it feels a bigger game, even with 20 games or 19 games after this one left this season. But also the league positionings of the two teams as well play a big factor in that. And both sets of fans and both groups of players will be going there with certain expectations. And we'll learn a little bit more about our group. I'm sure Swindon will learn a little bit more about their group as well. And it's a big game in terms of the outcome in relation to the points on offer.
It's actually probably a big fortnight as well, isn't it? 5 games in 2 weeks. It's quite incredible how in this league, in 2 weeks' time, the table could look so different.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't involved in any games on Tuesday, but I'm sure every Exeter City fan and every Exeter City player was watching the results come in and seeing how that affected us in the league positions and so on and so forth. And, you know, the unpredictable nature of all those results was apparent on Tuesday as well. And it will be continuously like that moving forward from now until the end of the season. We can only control what's ahead of us, first things first, in relation to Swindon, and then a lot of games in quick succession. And we go into that routine or that rhythm of Saturday, Tuesday, which we had so often last season as well. So games are what you look forward to. Every opportunity, every game's an opportunity to pick up points. Obviously, starting this weekend, and we've generally been in pretty good form so far this month. We were disappointed with our first half display against Hartlepool, and then not being able to break the opposition down in the second half as well. So that it didn't feel like a loss, but that was one where we felt we'd missed an opportunity, and we want to quickly put that behind us and move forward and put in another good away performance, probably similar to Walsall.
And finally, then the big news of the day: Matt Jay's had a haircut. What do you make of that?
Look, I don't know why he's done it. I liked him with the longer hair. I thought he started that style, almost a trendsetter, and probably a few players have probably followed him a little bit. So maybe he's going to start a new trend in relation to his hair. But whatever he feels comfortable with, we're looking forward to his performance this weekend. Maybe it's got something to do with the attention from the podcasts and all those bits and pieces which go alongside that. But regardless of hairstyles, regardless of what people wear, we're concentrating on football, and we're looking forward to MJ's performance and the team's performance this weekend.